Thank you very much. I really appreciate the earnest discussion that's happened today. I appreciate being part of this event, and I particularly appreciate being part of this panel on the ways forward, which I think is so important, as our speaker just pointed out, taking these great ideas and actually making those a reality. Now, I've been a little struck through the day that we haven't heard, until the question and answer session, actually one gentleman stood up from the UN, we have not heard about climate. And I find that really very striking in this particular setting. It's so important to these development goals. There is one development goal, what is it, goal 6? On climate, 13? Yeah, see, I'm sorry, I didn't study the numbers. But one goal on the importance of mitigating climate change and its impacts. But those impacts are not just climate change. I mean, we've had impacts from climate throughout civilization, and it's all of these other challenges that we're facing in development and humanity, growing populations, added stress on our resources. All of these things are now making climate itself a bigger challenge, and climate information can really help inform the way forward on many of these development goals. So we think about challenges such as have been brought up here, issues of, say, migration, the stresses on natural resources, all of these investments in development. Knowing something about the risks we face from climate, what climate may bring in the next season or the next year or two, are really important for our preparedness. The humanitarian community has really started to learn that response to disasters can cost many times more than preparedness, and then it leads to much more loss of life as well. It can also lead to a loss of decades of investment in human and financial resources in development. So it's really cross-cutting, it's implicit in all of these goals, and it really should be brought more to the forefront. Now, last year at the UN General Assembly, President Obama announced an initiative, US initiative, called Climate Resilient Development. And what that means is that now all US investments and activities internationally need to consider the impact of climate variability and change on those activities and those investments. And I'd really encourage many countries to think about this as a really explicit part of their development goals. So, as was introduced, I work for an institution called the International Research Institute for Climate and Society. In Latin America, they just call us IRI, IRI. That sits within the Earth Institute, and the IRI is an institution that already encompasses a wide number of expertise. About half of our scientists are climate scientists, and the rest are experts in areas that are impacted by climate, and that might be health, financial instruments, ecosystems, water, agriculture, and thinking about how to bring that information together to benefit society, benefit decisions. Our institute is part of the Sustainable Development Solutions Network, and that's not an accident. Jeffrey Sachs, who is the director of Columbia's Earth Institute, as you all know, has been a big advocate for the SDGs. He's been the special advisor to Ban Ki-moon on the MDGs, and to Kofi Annan before that. And he really has furthered the entire Earth Institute, which is really made up of about 3 different research institutes. It's really furthered our position on sustainable development and getting all of these different expertise to work together, whether that's water, agriculture and food security, ecosystems and biodiversity, energy, technology and policy, economics, and the social science, to think about how people confront science and new technology and work that into their particular contexts. So all of these things are important, they cross-cut, and I think that it really then, this thinking is so important as we go forward, this innovation in how you bring ideas together. And I think that's what we're going to be able to embrace through this panel today is innovation in how we think about the science, business, education, and the leaders in our community that can bring that forward. So I'd like to introduce our first panelist, Steve Kilea. He's the president and founder of the Institute for Economics and Peace in Australia. He's an accomplished entrepreneur in high technology business development and at the forefront of philanthropic activities focused on sustainable development and peace. He has always had a strong passion for sustainable development. In 2000, he established the Charitable Foundation, which specializes in working with the poorest communities of the world. In 2007, Steve founded the Institute for Economics and Peace, which is an international think tank dedicated to building greater understanding of the interconnection between business, peace, and economics, with a particular emphasis on the economic benefits of peace. This institute's groundbreaking research includes the Global Peace Index, the world's leading measure of peacefulness. Steve's founding of the IEP is recognized as one of the 50 most impactful philanthropic gifts in Australia's history. In 2013, he was nominated one of the top 100 most influential people in armed violence reduction by the UK group Action on Armed Violence. Steve, welcome.